turn your gunpla into a Zone of the Enders with this one strange tip right here, and that is use this kit right here. This is the Option Parts Set 13 Leg Booster Unit Wireless Weapon Pack, and this is by Bandai's 30-minute missions. So if you ever wanted to take a Gundam kit and make it into an orbital frame from Zone of the Enders, well, now you kind of can, because of these right here, these legs, which I think is kind of funny that Bandai always kind of does this. Especially with 30-minute missions, they can kind of take elements of other mecha that are out there, kind of break them down into one of these kits and just kind of say it's an add-on sort of thing. But that is what you can do right here, because there's Jehuti, there's its legs, there's Anubis, there's its legs, and this is essentially kind of in the same vein. So this is a big bit of potential, again with one major limitation. But let's get this out of the box, check it out, and of course this video right here would not have been possible without those awesome people over at Hobby Link Japan. So if you want one of these, link in the description. So inside this box right here, we get a grand total of 6 runners. So a lot of them do, well, it's more like 3 sets of 2. We've got these ones right here, which have the leg aspects on them. This one right here is just an extended version of that one we just saw. This is for some included backpack parts. Once again, we have 2 of these. One is slightly extended up top over the other one, and then we've got a bunch of little things that usually come in these 30-minute mission kits, which are super handy. These are various little 3mm adapters. These are useful for everything. For example, if you ever needed to link a chain onto a 3mm hole on your gunpla or 30-minute missions, you can do that with these, or cover up those little holes with these little plugs. Then we have a whole bunch of little adapter segments like joints, as well as the super handy 3mm to 3mm adapter bits. As usual, I'm going to be trying these out with gunpla. Today I'm going to see what I can do with aerial, but I can already see that because of the slots in the shoulders, we won't be getting something that I do want out of it. And some of the parts in here are designed 100% for working with this right here, which is the 30-minute missions Acerbi. So some parts will have to be used on that, so that's exactly what I will do. So instead of beating around the bush and getting the small fry out of the way, first I'm going to jump right into it and try out these awesome, almost Zone of the Enders looking legs, so let's get them snipped out. So each of these legs consists of what looks to be 5 pieces. So the main body of the legs are just 2 pieces that attach together just like so. So there's your essentially Zone of the Enders looking leg without anything attached to it. We have a C-clip up front, 3 round back for use and customization, and the little bits that come here for attaching onto it are this front fin like so. And we've got 2 parts to make up a little bit of a rear vernier, which attach together like that. And that then pops in there. You could pop it on here if you wanted a little heel vernier, or I assume that's for adding some kind of heel onto it if you want, or landing gear. But anyway, that right there is the leg. Looking good. Exact same thing again, putting this one together. Don't forget to cut off the gates, fin, and thruster. Now let's get these tried on. So first off, I will mention I won't be using these lengths with the Acerbi right here. You can, do that yourself, or, well, the images are out there already, so you're going to see this time and time again with those particular legs. And I'll also mention that those legs won't be usable with classic gunpla either. A lot of older and even somewhat new high grades will not be able to use them because they need to have C-clip knees. So I'm going to be trying them out with 2 different Gundams that have C-clip knees. First off is this entry grade Strike. This is the Exceed Galaxy from Gundam Build Metaverse. And the absolutely astounding high grade Gundam Aerial. Now this is what I've been using a lot with these kits, so let's get the knees out and try it. Now just in case you're not familiar with what C-clip knees are, that is knees that have the back part that attaches on like so. And inside them we do have C-clips which detach off by pulling them off like so. So that's what a C-clip looks like right there. That is that part. That is this part. And you'll see them on a lot of kits. A lot of newer kits, entry grades, fine build system kits, or 30-minute missions. Or the Witch from Mercury kits too. Now this should be able to attach on, but I guess I'm not sure just yet. All their C-clips tend to be the same. Oh, there we go. Do we have a little bit of armor clash? It's kind of on. We'll see. This is looking like we're having a little bit of an issue with compatible. Is it compatible? Debatable. Not looking like it. Now, basically, the C-clip does attach here. The problem is we've got a clash with this little bit of armor right here. And then if you do actually manage to get it past that and around, it clashes with this upper bit of armor right there. So my dreams of a Zone of the Enders Gundam Aerial is not going to work out. But this isn't the only Witcher Mercury Gundam with these particular joints, so let's try another one. So the next one I'm going to try out right here, and this is the Premium Bandai exclusive Rubris Jew. Now this doesn't have as thick a thighs in the front as the Aerial, so we may have a good chance with this. And also it kind of has an almost more Zone of the Enders kind of vibe to it, so let's try it out. Alright, so popping the back off this joint, removing the lower leg, and it's moment of truth time. So come on, does it work? Hopefully that knee armor comes off simply. Let's see. Oh, chance. I don't know, that looks like it's kind of working to me. It is bent back a little bit, but definitely working out better. We can work with this. So this right here is what I got in the end, and I have to say I'm actually impressed by what it turned out like. I expect this to kind of look a little bit ramshackle all over the place, kind of a bit of a mismatch, but this worked out really well. Now, there was a lot of hitches along the way. It didn't really work out necessarily the way I wanted. First off, as for that weapon on the arm. So in order to enhance that Zone of the Enders feel, I took a look at Jehuti there, and it's got a cool arm blade. And I remembered a kit that had cool arm blades very recently, and that was the Gundam 00 Diver Arc. So these are the blades, but we run into an issue straight away that there's just a hole in the back of this, and in the Jew's arm is a hole too. Thankfully, like I already mentioned, this kit does have these, which are absolute gold dust. These are 3mm to 3mm adapters. So these automatically make issues like that a thing of the past. You just pop that in like so, and now it's ready to attach onto the arm, just like that. Now the next issue I had in here is I wanted to pop a little pair of wings up top, like you see on Jehuti. The problem is, this kit right here, well, I'm getting a bit ahead of myself there. I wanted to take the wings off the Aerial rebuild, but the problem is the Aerial rebuild's wings are the normal Gundam attachment backpack. But what we've got on the Rubris Jew right here is just one giant peg. It's actually a very unique backpack that is unique to this particular kit right here. So that does mean it could not wear the actual wings I wanted it to, so instead I swapped out the entire torso. Now this does change the color scheme of the mobile suit in general. The chest is not the same anymore, but the waist and the overall shape of the torso on what I got right here in the end did actually look a little bit more Zone of the Endersy. Definitely a little bit more of a Jehuti vibe there. So we're getting one hell of a Jehuti Gundam hybrid, and this worked out so well. Those little wings, that beam sword on the arm, honestly, this is pretty cool. I can just imagine this in a Jehuti color scheme or a regular Gundam color scheme, and it would look insanely good. On to the next bit. So the next thing that we have in here is referred to as the wireless weapon pack. So this is a back-mounted weapon system. It seems like it's just got the one peg, but we do have a 1 peg to 2 peg adapter. So we should be able to use this as well. Let's get it built. So the build of this right here is super simple. You just nip it out the normal way that you would. Each of these little units has an inner section which attaches with 2 parts like this, an outer section that attaches with 2 more parts on top of it. Then inside of it we do have a little bit of a joint system plus backpack which attaches together very simply, and then you attach these big wireless weapons onto the backpack via C-clips. This has just a 1 peg adapter for attaching on wherever you want to attach it. It's a backpack, so that's usually where you'd attach it. And thankfully this kit has this in here, which again is one of those gold dust items. This is a single peg to 2 peg backpack adapter. So you can make anything that's a single peg now into a standard Gunpla or Bandai model kit backpack. That is absolute perfection and awesomeness. So in order to get our backpack attached onto our fake Jehuti right here, we're going to be losing the wings just like that. There is that 2-hole backpack adapter slot. Attach that in just like so. Again, this will work with anything with a single slot, including striker packs, but more than likely with that they won't line up the way you want them to. And that right there is what it looks like. Now, according to the instructions, it looks like these are meant to be some kind of remote weapons. With this backpack, you can actually make them swing round and point over the shoulders like so if you want them to just be shoulder shooty weapons. But yeah, like it says, these are kind of like remote weapon, and it expects you to take them off like this and attach them onto some kind of base via that little 3mm peg right there for, I guess, just kind of flitting around your 30-minute missions or Gundam, kind of doing funnel stuff. It's definitely an interesting weapon, but I have to say I prefer the overall look of a pair of wings, especially on our fake Jehuti right here, so that is exactly where those are gonna stay. So the next thing we have inside this box is this kind of shoulder armor right here. It does say to use it, once again, with the Aster-B, which is the general gist of this entire box, but I'm gonna see what I can do with some gunpla. So cutting out these shoulder parts is super simple. They're 3 pieces each, and the assembly is super simple, just like a 30-minute mission shoulder, but the attachment point is a 3mm peg, instead the usual shoulder peg. Now you can attach these onto any Gundam you want in any kind of way that you want, but what I thought would be pretty cool is this Gundam right here, the entry grade Strike Exceed Galaxy, that has some holes in its shoulders, so maybe we'll be able to kind of extend that out a little bit and see what we get. This of course is a hole, this is a hole, so we will need an adapter. Alright, so with the adapter in, let's try to extend the shoulders on the Strike Exceed Galaxy right here. So we've got 1, and then we've got 2, and that's what it ends up like. So not really as cool as I thought it might be. They can actually move down like this as well, like kind of armor plates. That doesn't look too bad. And we do have a C-clip up top here if you want to extend some extra stuff onto this particular Gundam. So yeah, I thought they'd be a little bit cooler up on the shoulders than they actually are, but that is what they do look like, and you can stick them on anywhere that you want. For example, you just pull it off and attach it onto the side of the leg like so for a kind of little bit of an opening bit, a la Gundam X, Gundam X2, that kind of thing. Now the last couple of bits are 100% for using with the Aster-B, only because they are a bunch of kind of hair accessory kind of items, so we'll get those attached down really quick and see how they work out. So what we've got in here now is basically a bunch of different upgrades for the Aster-B's head right here. So starting round back, we do have this little bit of a slot. In here we do have 3 options. First off is this one right here, which just attaches onto the back of the head here. This kind of reminds me of those little attachment points you'd see on something like the Gundam Mark II that gives it a Vulcan around the head. This adds some ears in a kind of headphonesy kind of way. The second option in here is this one, attaches on the exact same way, and this has just some smaller little segments which kind of do pretty much the exact same kind of thing. And now for the last one, you actually have to use this same headpiece, so I'm not going to remove it. I'm just going to take off the 2 side parts and then attach on these kind of parts like so. So this is the last one then. So this adds these almost fin or wing like parts or stabilizers around to the back like so. This is the one I'm going to leave on. So when it comes to the next parts, inside of these kits heads, we've got this little part here we can remove like so. This is also in the 30-minute sisters, so I assume the next things we're about to use can be used with 30-minute sisters. Now what we've got is a pair of ear attachments. So this wouldn't be a Japanese anime mecha girl without the option of some cat ears, so there are those. These are actually quite nice, the little bit in the inside actually giving that cat ear kind of feel, and there they are from the back. The next thing we have in here, pop those off, is a pair of bunny ears. So pretty much like what we just saw, but they are bunny ears. I'm going to leave these on just because they're the biggest of the bunch. And last up then, we've got some alternate segments for these particular cannons. So these head cannons right here, these pigtail cannons, those pop off, leaving some ball joints like so. And then we've got these segments. Now we'll mention with these segments, these are pretty much like any other 30-minute missions part. So you got that little 3mm peg there, and you've got 1 round back. So you can use this as knee armor, shoulder armor, whatever you want. And this little hole right there, that is a ball joint hole, so that can pop on to where those were, and we end up with stuff on the head just like so. So you can have it in gray like what you're seeing right here, or of course you can paint it up for your own custom 30-minute missions with a kind of bunny style feel. Bit wiggly though. So anyway, that right there is it for the review of this box. And once again, 30-minute missions, you cannot go wrong. You can use them with your gunpla, 30-minute missions, 30-minute sisters, pretty much anything by Bandai. Now, I'm really blown away by these legs right here. They've got such great potential. And if you ever wanted to zone of the Enders-ify your Gundam model kits, as long as they've got C-clip joints, this is something you can do without very much modification whatsoever. Clip on paint and go, and you are done. Anyway, that is it for the review. If you want what you saw in this video, as usual, I got this from Hobby Link Japan, link in the description. And as usual, thank you so much to you for watching this video, and I will see you next time. So this video right here would not have been possible without each and every single one of you guys who watches my videos, and all of these awesome people right here who help out on the channel memberships and over on Patreon, including 10 Soldier YT, Abraxas, Caleb Engelhart, Dashil Marmion, Golel Rockstar, Joe, Lauren Seahack, or G95061, 10 Soldier YT again, and Van Fawn.